Hey all, welcome back to the Fire Water Cooking Channel. I'm Darren, and today I'm going to do a comparison between the Avid Armor A100 commercial vacuum sealer versus the Foodsaver stainless steel FM2435. I'll be right back. Alright guys, I'm back, and hey, I've had this Foodsaver FM2435 for a little over a year now, and it's worked okay. I can't really complain. I haven't had any major issues with it at all. It's pretty much about the same size as far as taking up kind of space as the Avid Armor, so I'm really not having to give up any kind of space savings or anything going to the Avid Armor. And there's some things that this Foodsaver has and doesn't have. It's kind of the reason why I'm moving over to the Avid Armor. One of the things with the Foodsaver, it is a lot lighter, so it's made mostly of plastic. It has this stainless steel plate here, but that's the only piece that's really stainless steel. The rest of it's plastic. It does have bag storage here for storage for a roll for bags and a built-in cutter, which is kind of convenient. The Avid Armor does not have that. One of the reasons is due to the Avid Armor's vacuum pump is a lot stronger. It's a dual pump, so the pump takes up a lot more room than the one on the Foodsaver. So that's one of the things the Foodsaver has over it, is it does have the bag storage, which to me really is not that big of a deal. They both have a couple different options as far as what you can do as far as sealing goes. The Foodsaver has two selections, dry or moist. And with the moist setting, all you're doing on the Foodsaver is it gives a little bit more time to the seal. That's pretty much your only option here. You got just your seal button and your vac seal button. And that's about it. As far as size goes, this is just a little bit bigger. It's a lot heavier, because this is 100% complete steel, stainless steel. This thing's probably about 10 pounds. Compared to this is about 4 or 5 pounds, because it's mostly plastic. The pump on this is a lot stronger. You have the ability to set your seal times. One of the things I want to kind of go a little bit closer and show you some of the differences here. If you look at the seal bar itself, right here on the Avid Armor, it's a lot wider, gives you a little bit more space there, a little bit more of a seal. You got your moisture tray you can remove here on the Avid Armor. And on your Vac Master, you can see this is a lot smaller seal bar. And you do have your moisture catcher here as well, and like I said, you do have your ability to do your bags, but it's a lot more plastic. The pump is a lot smaller. You have to actually wait a lot longer for your pump to get all the air out. But now this one, like I said, this is a lot more heavy duty. This is if you're going to do a lot of vacuum sealing, this is kind of the one you want to look at. And I will show you exactly, running them side by side, what the difference is going to be, because we're going to go ahead and vacuum something right now. I'll be right back. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and give you a little closer up view here. I'm going to let the Foodsaver go first, and I'm just going to let it do the dry, and I'm just going to do regular vac and seal, and then I'll let it run. Well, that was kind of dramatic with the crackers, so. All right, and then when it's done, the lights will go off. It doesn't make any kind of beep or anything. And then you just unlock it. And there you go. I mean, it works decent. Now we're going to go ahead and let the Avid Armor turn that on. You can hear that when I've turned it on. It's got a big fan in here because the pistons in this motor are a lot bigger than that one there. So I'm going to go ahead and just hit the start. And there you go. And it beeps when it's done. And one of the things I kind of want to show you the difference. This is the Foodsaver. Check out the seal. Okay, it's decent. It's sealed all the way through. But if you compare it to this seal's a lot wider. And since I had it set to 4 seconds, it actually went all the way through this pretty substantially. That's a heck of a seal on here. It's actually probably a little bit too long. I probably could have backed it off to 3 seconds. But it's a lot wider seal and a lot stronger seal than this one here. And this one actually took longer to seal. They both did a decent job, but as far as if you're doing something where you're cooking sous vide, where this is going underwater, and you want to make sure you get a really tight seal, I think the Avid Armor does a lot better job at sealing. So, and we're going to show you in a minute how we can do some liquids with it. All right, guys, we're going to try them both with a little bit of moisture in the bag. And these have some meatballs in each one with a little bit of spaghetti sauce. So I'm going to go ahead and get these turned on, and we'll be right back. I'm going to let the Foodsaver go first, so I can kind of show you what I need to do in order to use liquid with it. Normally what I do is I will let the bag kind of hang. I'll pull this back just a little so you can see what I'm doing. I'll let it kind of hang over the edge of the counter so that I get gravity to kind of help me keep the liquid back. I'm going to go ahead and put this in here, and then you can lock it down, so that's a good thing. So I kind of got it locked down, got it hanging over the edge of the counter a little bit to let the gravity hold it back just a little bit. And what I'm going to try to do here, I'm going to put it on the moist setting. I'm going to run the vac and seal, and I'm going to see if I can get this to stop before a lot of the sauce goes up into it. So here we go. Alright, that's it. It won't let me do it anymore. So now I have to hit the seal. So the only problem with that way, where I can only do it once or twice with that Foodsaver, is it really doesn't give me the ability to get all the air out. So I got a good amount of it out, but still not all of it. So, and you can tell that it's an okay, but it's just there's still some air in there. There's still some big air bubbles and stuff. So that sealed it. Well, let's do it with the Avid Armor. I'm going to kind of do a similar thing with this one, just because I want it to kind of be even. So I'm going to go ahead, get that in there, just kind of hold it into place. But what this has is I can actually do a pulse vac. So what I can do is start. Whoop. Start. Oh, power on. And pulse vac. You see that? I can just do this as many times as I want and just kind of look and see to where I can get as much of that air out as possible. Just and once you get enough of the air out, you don't have to worry about the liquid going back up there anymore, because it's pretty much got a nice tight vacuum right here. And then you just go ahead and hit your seal. And then it's done. And then again, you got that really deep, thick seal. wide on here. It's a lot wider. Just kind of show you the difference in the seal. It's a lot wider on the commercial one. There's still some air bubbles in there, and this one is pretty much tight. So there you go. That's how they both work, with a little bit of moisture in the bag. All right, I'll be right back. We'll see how these canisters work. All right, we're going to try out how these containers work. I'm going to try this Foodsaver container that I've had for a while. It's a similar container that it's supposed to be for like lunch meat and stuff, but I'm going to try it with the coffee. And it has the same setup as their containers do, with this little rubber gasket on top. So we're going to let that one go first. And every time you use the Foodsaver, you got to make sure you lock it down, because it won't operate without it. So you see you have your lights come on as soon as you lock it down. And you have your little accessory gadget here that just plugs right in this little green hole in the front. And you lock that down. And then you use this to kind of push it down to lock it in. So you can take this little clip off. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use the dry setting and just hit the vac and seal and see what happens here. I'm going to hold this down in place. It's got the little dimple. That little dimple on there is down. So it has a little bit of vacuum in there. Just not enough for what I'm wanting to do. So I guess it has a little bit of vacuum. And I guess to open it up, you can just lift this up. And you see it lets the vacuum out. But now the Avid Armor, their container itself is 100% stainless steel. Does have plastic for the lid, but if you can see the lid here, it's got one of these little plastic knobs here that will suck up and lock it in place. We're going to go ahead, put the lid on. I've got my accessory tool. It just sits right on top here. And then there is an accessory button on here. Turn it on, hit the accessory, and that's going to suck it up. That's it. And it locks it down tight. You can't even move this lid now. So I know there's a good vacuum on it, because this will shake this up and down, won't move. So, and that's it. And that's pushed down, so you know that the vacuum's real tight. And then to open it up, you just pull this up, and it lets the vacuum out. Ooh, man, that sucked it down there pretty tight too. There you go. So much stronger vacuum, much tighter seal. All right, let's see what else we can test on this. And I think the last test I'm going to do is just kind of show you how you can do like soft items like this in both of them, and how hard, easy, successful it can be with doing it. I'll do the Foodsaver first. And so we're going to take one of these King's Hawaiian rolls and vacuum it just enough to hold it. We don't want it to squish it down. So we're going to try this little King's Hawaiian roll and see if we can get it to where we can get most of the air out, but not squish it and have it misshape. We're just going to use the regular vac mode, and we're going to try to stop it before it gets out of control. Okay, you see there? I just hit the stop. Now if I want to pulse it, it's letting a little bit more air back in. So I'm going to go ahead and see if I can get just a little bit more out, and then hit it, and then seal it. So it's really not a pulse function. You kind of have to kind of start and stop it and try to do it the best you can. This still pressured it a little bit. You can see it did lose its shape just a little, and It did get most of the air out. Still got a little bit of air in there, but it did a okay job. And you can see that seal, just a very thin seal. All right, let's do this on the Avid Armor with the little roll here, so we can try to make it so where it does not crush it. So we're going to use our pulse function. We're going to kind of hold this down so we can get a little bit of air out of there. As you can see, just a little bit at a time, and then we're going to go ahead and hit our seal. And there we go. And it's still got most of its shape. Most of the air is out of it, and hasn't sucked it out and crushed it like the other one has. So there you go. It's a little bit more control as far as the pulse function on here, where you actually have the pulse button. On the other one, on the Foodsaver, you kind of got to try to do it manually, and it's very limited. So again, both of these you can find on Amazon. You can also find Avid Armor on their website, and Foodsaver has their own website as well. The Avid Armor sells on Amazon for about $280. Right now I think they're out of stock, as they're selling out of these things, because they're about $100 cheaper than the other competitors of the similar brand or similar models. The Foodsaver sells for about $100. Check them both out, whichever fits your needs. My recommendation, if you're going to do a lot of sous vide cooking and a lot of food prep using a vacuum, go ahead and spring for the extra $100 or so for the Avid Armor, because it's going to be well worth it. Foodsaver, you know, just plan on replacing it every 1.5 or 2 years. So thanks for watching. Hope you got something out of this. Make sure you follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Make sure you like this video, and please subscribe. Thanks for watching.